So, if you know anything about BlazBlue, you probably know these three things. This fella is very depressed, this girl is very hot, and this woman fucked a cat. Now, the main discussion of today is going to be what happened when this woman fucked a cat and created this monster. That monster being Kokonoe with her powerful 3C! Now, if you've heard about Kokonoe before, it's probably because you've heard that she's a monster and deserves to be put down like the dog she is. Except, she's a cat, so I don't understand this argument. Me personally, I really like Kokonoe. I think she's really cool, and the fact that she's a gamer and a shut-in knee is real good representation for me. But to get to the fruit of her story and talk about why her story is one of inherited destiny that she so desperately wants to reject, I'm going to talk about the story of how she came to be and what she chooses to do with her life. And good enough detail that you understand what's happening, but not so good of detail that you have a full timeline of what happened. You know, just giving you the generals here. And before we all begin, I'd just like to say thank you all. It means a lot that you stick around and watch these videos. Feel free to subscribe. It'd be really cool if I could get to 10K before the end of the year. In the beginning, there was Konoe, and it was good. Or at least it was good until their mom fucking died, and their dad grows ever distant, racked with grief over their dead mom. Because of the parental neglect, Konoe had to step in as the mom for Celica, her younger sister, and she did everything to make sure that she was safe, happy, and protected. And then the entirety of X-Blaze happens. I'm not going to go into much detail about it because this isn't her story, it's Kokonoe's, but you know. Just letting you know, X-Blaze happens here. And now we're at the end of X-Blaze, where Konoe gets to join the 10 Sages, becoming 9. Ooh, fancy. Here, she meets Trinity and Cosma. We know how this is gonna end. Now, let the record state, 9 uses a special kind of magic called sorcery. Typically in the BlazBlue universe, when people use magic, they channel it through a magic item of sorts. 9 is special because she can take the living life force out of things around her and turn it into pure magic, making her one of the most powerful sorceresses ever, period.tm. Anyways, 9 the Phantom goes on a small little mission where she runs into two main important people, Ragna the Blood Edge, because time travel, and a young cat known as Mitsuyoshi, who later becomes Jubei, because I'm actually not sure why he changes his name, but he does. 9 the Phantom, I guess, has a thing for cat boys, a little too far in the spectrum for my taste, but I get it. Because after they're done kicking the crap out of each other, they both kind of look at each other and just like, haha, you're pretty sexy, good at fighting, haha. Fuck. Oh no, it's the end of the world, and 9 the Phantom has to assemble a team of people to take it on, and so she assembles the 6 heroes. 9, Hakumen, Jubei, Falconhine, a mind-controlled Yuki Terumi, Trinity Glassfile, and Celica is also there because she's 9's +1. To defeat the threat of the Black Beast, 9 the Phantom decides to make a whole bunch of super weapons that could potentially end the world, creating one more super weapon that's supposed to take care of other super weapons. However, once the Black Beast has been defeated, 9 the Phantom, and I quote, forgets to seal away the other super weapons. This starts off the plot of the C-series of BlazBlue. Now, one must ask themselves, why? Let me check my notes here. She was having sex with a cat. Anyways, 9 the Phantom got pregnant and had Kokonoe, and this is where her story begins. Let's go. Oh yeah, after she had Kokonoe, she fucking dies because Terumi and Trinity betrayed her, and it's pretty messed up.
The subtle change in my voice is indicating that we're starting at the top again so I could tell you about Jubei.
Boom, you're a cat ninja warrior, and you're fighting a legendary hidden blade that can strike down the god of destruction, Yuki Terumi. You were built for this. Anyways, and then you start working for the UN. You decide to track down a scientist that's been on the run for a little bit, and as you finally find that scientist, he got fucking killed by a really hot witch. You fight that witch for a while, and you both kind of agree you're both pretty strong and kind of hot. Fuck. Following these events, you actually decide to help the same witch in a council of 6 heroes. You were always the most prudent one. You always wanted to do the things that were the most efficient or the most important, leaving behind things that were the most emotional to you. This made you a bit of a deadbeat dad, as you sort of just left your daughter in the care of the NOL while you were off doing hero business. Eventually, your wife fucking dies to Yuki Terumi, you're racked with grief, you can't even bear to look at your daughter anymore, and so you leave her to be taken care of by the organization that has been infiltrated by one Hazama! So let's recap who Kokonoe's parents are. On the left-hand side, you have a very powerful sorceress, one of the most powerful magic users ever conceived of, who loves you deeply, but is also cruel and malicious, and doesn't extend her love past anyone in her immediate family. And on the right-hand side, you have Jubei, someone who's an amazing sword fighter, but distant, who never really seemed to care for you as a child, never wanting to visit you, and especially leaving you at the hands of the enemies. So let's put yourself in Kokonoe's shoes. Growing up, you were a government's kid. growing up in the offices of scientists and people who were researching cauldrons, without any real parents, under constant observation by people like Hazama and Terumi, you never felt the real ability to express yourself, and more importantly, to be safe. So really, what do you do in this situation? That's right, baby, we join a terrorist organization, Sector 7, baby, let's go! Joining Sector 7, she decides to confront the NOL at all times possible, earning her the rank of a double S criminal. But then she hacked the database and removed her criminal ranking, which is so goofy. While she's out being a terrorist and whatnot, she happens to come across a beaten and near-dead NOL officer. What do you do in this situation? Is the answer A, turn him into a cyborg and name him Iron Tiger, or B, it's A. You do unwanted surgery to this man and turn him into a cyborg and keep him as a pet. During her time working with Sector 7, she also come across a few apprentices that she helps, quote-unquote, throughout her adventures. One of them being Lychee, the other being a guy named Lot, and Mai Natsume. This is where Kokonoe begins to mirror her parents in some way. While she is a natural-born leader, she is also very cruel to the people that works under her. Like Tager, who he promises that she will turn him into a human once again if he just does a few more missions for her, while she's constantly upgrading his cybernetics. She uses Mai Natsume as bait so she can kill a group of succubus lolly demons easier. She inherits the pragmatism of Jubei as well as the cruelty of Nine, but at the same time, inherits a bit of Nine's love for the people she holds close to her. While Kokonoe uses Tager, she does genuinely want to improve his life, upgrading cybernetics to make him stronger, to make sure that he doesn't die. When Lot fell to the grasp of the boundary, becoming the horror known as Arakune, she decided to observe Arakune, allowing him to continue to exist, trying to find a cure for him, working with Lychee to do this. Kokonoe sacrifices herself to genuinely uplift the people around her, but at the same time, does use them for her own benefits while they're there. I think the funniest example of this is the relationship between Kokonoe and Ragna. Kokonoe and Ragna need each other. They need each other to accomplish their own goals, but that doesn't stop them from fucking hating each other. Like when Kokonoe put a bomb inside of him and told him that if he ever left Celica alone, he would implode in every dimension at the exact same time. But at the same time, let Ragna have the arm that helps bind his Asword grimoire. She's spiteful, she's angry, she hates people, but at the same time she understands what needs to be done for a greater good, something both of her parents couldn't do. I think this is telling in the story where Kokonoe is able to meet Nine the Phantom again after all these long years. The gang decide that the best shot of them destroying Yuki Terumi is to go into a basement where Nine the Phantom keeps her workshop. While they're down there, they discover that Nine the Phantom had been working on an artificial god to replace the Master Unit. Nine explains that the Master Unit is the reason why everything is going to shit, the reason why timelines get reset, and the reason that nothing is permanent. She wants to replace the Master Unit with this artificial god so that time could continue onward, even if it led to destruction. This would mean killing Celica and Kokonoe in the process. She's forced to observe as Ragna cuts down Nine the Phantom, watching as her mother dies, the one person who truly had love for her. I think the reason I love Kokonoe so much is because of the split that a lot of BlazBlue characters have. Ragna, the violent criminal, is a softie. Jin, the hero of Akagura, is a sociopath. And Kokonoe, the ever-distant scientist, is the person who just wants to see her friends and family live happy lives, willing to sacrifice herself if it means everyone else gets to live. The cold-hearted, malicious, cruel scientist with nothing but logic on her brain, the person who lets her emotions guide her actions. You can even see bits of this sentimentality in her design. Her coat is from the Kaka clan. Even though she wears it incorrectly, it's still a reminder that she's from her beastkin, that she still honors her dad even if she doesn't want to admit it. While she spits in the face of magic, she still ends up learning it. Even though she believes science to be superior, she still uses magic, inheriting the magical traits from her mother. Kokonoe, like most of my favorite characters in BlazBlue, are posers. People who want to project their own image onto the world while at the same time being insecure about who they are. It really makes these characters feel alive, and I just love watching them interact. She's also really fucking hot. Thank you all for watching. I've been Old Reliable. If you enjoyed these kind of videos, feel free to subscribe. I'm gonna do more of them in the future. I have a Twitter that you can follow. I only repost very horny art, so be warned. I also have a Discord, which fucking despises me, so if you're in that boat, go ahead and join and let me know how much of a poo-poo stinky head I am. And lastly, I stream on here every once in a while. Feel free to stop by, ask questions, and hang out. We do a lot of chatting. Once again, thank you all for hanging out, stopping by. I'll see you all later. Peace.